Getting all fired up about some Cowboys. You ain't no Buffalo Soldier.
Hey, man. Shout out to the descendants of DeWitty.
Yep. I watch the Westerns and get down with the Indians, bro. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. A 1-2, a 1-2. Check 1 2 1 2. How you sounding over there, buddy?
Check the melody.
Oh yeah. A 1-2. You know what day it is? You guessed it. You was right.
Got to get the hump off my back,
man. There it is. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, Paul B. the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners in the house.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. Prince would have been 65.
Oh, today is the purple day.
Purple day, yeah, man. Prince's birthday today. And also Lil Man's birthday today.
Lil Man and Prince share a birthday. Isn't that quite delightful?
He was supposed to share my birthday, but he came a little late.
Okay. Hey, that's.
He said, I'm waiting on Prince. That's what the dude said. So it is what it is. Can't be mad at that. Good morning, all. Thanks for joining us this early morning. I'm getting some. I got a message from. Princess McKesson just hit us up. Said she's not going to be able to come on this morning. Okay. So appreciate Precious the message, letting us know what's going on. But we will be speaking with Kimara Snipes.
Yeah,
what's good in the hood. And we also got a couple other special guests. Alajia is coming on, and also Andrea Joy Pearson. They're gonna be talking about Joy Fest coming up. So yes, chock full of guests today. You know, when it's Wednesday. Like to have
shout out to Lala, man. The whole fam is just amazing.
That's what for real. It's really real. Yeah,
man. We got some very powerful families, man, in the Omaha area. Like more than I think about it. Shout out to the Murray family, Monty Murray, and her family, Ido Vital, and rest in peace to her father. And man, yeah. I don't even. I'm going the whole spiel. Let me calm down. But yeah, shout out to the community, man. Shout out to y'all. Y'all amazing. The Allen family, yeah.
Oh, appreciate you, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, from great grandpops all the way to you, man, making changes. Making it happen in the community.
Trying to make something get down for real. I see. As a matter of fact, I see Pops in the Pops. Yeah, Pops in the chat. Yeah. Good morning. He said good morning, First Sky fam. Love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pop. Leia Keister says, "Whoopie dee doopie Women's Wednesday."
Okay. I think you nailed that one.
Okay. I was after the doopie. I thought it was gonna be something else.
Nah.
Whoopie dee or something. Yep. Pop says everything sounds just fine. Thank you very much. Mama Guy says good morning, fam. Good morning to you as well. Said y'all moving like you ready. Yeah, well, we still.
I think we just make it look good.
We still tired. We still tired.
Yeah. Let us know how you feeling this morning, though. How's it going? How
y'all doing? I got a message from Beth over there at on the radio channel, the 630 crew. She said the mix was right. Stopped her in her tracks this morning with the mix. That's what's up.
Okay.
I got to give a shout out to her and Big Bro though for hipping me to some of the music that I played on the set this morning. So yeah, got a few new joints on that
Man,
pretty
I
incredible.
have come across a new artist, man, that might be in your wheelhouse, man. A cat named Venna. Are you familiar?
Okay.
Venna.
What kind of stuff?
Man, it's I mean, it's real jazzy, man. I think he does a little saxophone, he does a little, singing, some rapping.
Okay,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
check
think
him
he's
out.
he's got a track with like Mick Jenkins. Yeah, he's got a track with
Hmm,
Masego.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, new album out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check that
Got,
out, y'all.
got some
Venna, Venna.
got some features on there and stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Real jazzy. He plays the saxophone. Yeah, it's
One
nice.
one I'm vibing off right now is Jose James. Big Bro and Big Sis hit me to the Jose James version of the Healer
Okay.
with Big Yuki on the keyboards and everything. It's cold. I had to put it on this morning for real.
Man.
It's tight. It's tight. I mean, the Healer is just a genius song anyway. Erica Badu is a genius.
Yeah, man.
A genius. Well, when you hear somebody else interpret a song, sometimes it brings out just how genius that songwriting is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to it, just tripping. Like, man, she's just incredible. She's incredible. We hope to. We've been talking about trying to get
Man.
her in Omaha,
Man.
and we still
Even
working
just
on
as a DJ.
right. You know, all that stuff. So we're still working on some of these things that we put in motion. It's taking a little time to really kind of make it right, do it right, because that's really the thing that we got to make sure that we do is
Mm-hmm.
if we're gonna come with it, we got to come correct. So yeah, working up to it, man. And you never know. A couple of year down the line or something like that, one of the Chad Chimers kickbacks might be a big show with a big artist coming through. So you never know. Never know. I
Wow.
talked to Terrace Martin too. He's been talking about trying to bring dinner party out here. So
Look out. Man, that
yeah,
speaking of the jams, man, that new dinner party album.
bro, I bump that every day,
Man,
every
that
day.
breathe been heavy rotation.
Most deaf. Brother Sanchez, Mayor Sanchez in the house. What's going on, brother? He says Snoop is trying to sign local black female rapper Black Diamond. Is he? I didn't hear that.
Is he?
She gonna be signed to Death Row? That'd be dope.
Man, okay, okay. I'm not even familiar with Black Diamond,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah, man. Local artist, man.
okay.
Got some. This, like you said, there's some talent. There's some
I
talent
mean,
out here
yeah,
for
yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, not to mention Tech Nine, Screwface Gene. They're both, in the strange music camp.
Very true.
Yeah, I think Screwface is from Lincoln. Tech Nine, North alumni. V's
Mhm.
up.
Okay, that's what's up. Speaking of North, I don't want to get too far into it, but there was a big shootout the other day.
Really?
Yeah, and only reason why, I mean, it was in the paper. There was somebody. It was around 31st and Ames, somewhere around there, and there was something going on, and some police were close by at some event and heard some shots and came out and then engaged the shooter, and the shooter got hit and is got serious injuries, and they're trying to determine whether or not it was the cops or whoever they were shooting at, if they were getting shooting back at them. Big mess going on.
Mm.
But my whole feed is people that live around the area that's like, man, it was like a Wild West shootout out here just a minute ago, and that's what caught my ear about it. Was just like, you hear about stuff on the news, all that, but you don't really hear people chiming up in the chat. Like, I guess it was a real scene. So
Man,
yeah, so
sorry to hear that, man. Well,
hot,
hopefully,
hot summer going on right now, man. It's good 90 degrees today coming, so you know what that means.
yeah. And we talked about it. Could this be a kind of an omen of what is to come? With the future of gun legislation in Nebraska.
That's the point. That's the point.
Man,
Lots going on anyway. Before we get all into the news
yeah,
today,
yeah,
how
yeah.
you doing,
Well,
buddy? What's going on in your
oh
world?
yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. What's new? What's new? Well, just preparing to come there. Yeah, yeah, getting ready to come there. A couple weeks. Of course, we only have 4 or 5 episodes left in this season, so
Season, yeah.
yeah, hopefully we can squeeze in a kickback or some things when I touch down. But definitely looking forward to seeing some family members, handling some business. I think it'll be around Father's Day, so yeah, looking forward to chilling with Papa God a little bit.
Right on.
Maybe smash some white ball out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Just preparing for that. Of course, we'll be bringing the littles. to see family as well. So
Coming up quick, man. Coming up real fast.
it is. Also, I've been on and off the phone. Kind of been mentioning it in the chat. Shout out to Mama God, dealing with some eye, things. And I just kind of put it out there, man. If anyone's dealing with diabetes, let us know, in the chat. What do you do to kind of keep your insulin and your,
Mm,
your Mama God is a diabetic and got with some bad medicine, man, and it messed up her eyes. She had to have some surgery, man. That's
This
yeah. I'm
this
personally not.
medicine?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay.
personally not big about the medicine, but you already know, you get the laundry list of symptoms and things like that. And it looks like it affected Mama God. Definitely she's in recovery. So y'all definitely please pray up for Mama God. But
Yeah.
yeah. If you have any tips on just how you, if you're a diabetic or know anyone with diabetes, how you stay healthy, how you keep things even keel.
Mm. It's a good question, man. I've been borderline for a minute, so I'm definitely waiting to hear some of these answers myself.
Look, it's more prevalent in the community than you would even realize.
Yeah.
A lot of people around me are dealing with diabetes or like you said, borderline. So health is wealth, man. We always talk about it. Towards the end of the show, that woman reminding us, protect your health, check on yourself, protect your titties, all that good stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Got to do it. Can't be like the old days where we're too scared to go to the doctor and all that. We gotta make sure we hit the doctor's office as much as we can, and so on and so forth, man. Brother Sanchez is also talking about pre-diabetic. He said diet, diet, diet. No white flour or sugar for him. So
Yeah, man. Yeah,
yeah,
discipline. Okay.
it's tough. It's tough
Oh yeah,
in the world of food in America though. For avoid a lot of
trash,
stuff.
trash.
So many foods in America that are banned in other countries. It's ridiculous. So
True, 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 true.
went to Aldi's the other day and they had a whole rack full of Skittles. Like they're just really trying to get rid of them. I just read something about Skittles being banned in another country.
Really, I
I was
mean,
like,
it was nothing but sugar coated in candy, like
and
sugar coated in more sugar.
and the dyes that they use and
Yeah,
everything else.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Trip, man. Yeah, let us know what's going on. He said diabetes can cause amputation. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
My
I've
friend
seen it.
Tumex out in LA, he had his leg amputated. That was kind of close to home. Like diabetes ain't no joke, man. We gotta stay safe on that. So yeah, shout out to Mama God and prayers for your recovery and everything else. And yeah, and when you get out here, man, we are having the Chat Choppers kickback, so it
Yes,
ain't gonna be
sir.
no maybe. Amy H. Dot hit me up yesterday. Says she wants to help with the planning of the event. So let's definitely get it together. We'll have a date soon on the Chat Chimers kickback. We'd love to have everybody come through and see everybody in person. I was just talking to Pops the other day too. He was like, "Yeah, one of these days I get out there, man. Make sure it's a Chat Chimers kickback so we can all meet up.
Okay.
So that'd be dope." Brother Valaderas in the house says, "Morning, bless the day." Hear that? Mama God says, "Eye problems and still going to kick it with the grands for several weeks." I heard that. She says, "I'm going to use their eyes to get through this. We're gonna have a ball regardless." That's what's up.
There you go.
That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah,
Can't wait till
yeah.
you get in town, bro. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, you always talk about my stoicism and things like that, man. And I'm realizing apple don't fall too far from the tree, man. I'm definitely appreciative of Mama God's positivity through all of this. So
That's what's
yeah,
up.
prayers up for it, man.
Yep. So let's go ahead and jump into what we're gonna talk about today before we get this show started. What's on the agenda?
Man, several things to talk about. There are a few honorable mention stories we didn't really get into on Monday. Gonna talk about some money today. Following the money, kind of continuing from last season. If you remember last week, kind of towards the end of last month, there was a lot of talk about a possible U.S. default on the economy. I didn't want to kind of round about that. There was a bill signed in the wee hours of the weekend. We didn't get into it on Monday, but kind of updating on that situation. Again, just a quick mention. But I definitely want to discuss and get more into the whole. I don't know if anyone has seen a report, but if you are using any of the Venmo, Cash App, money processing apps, you might want to double think about that, man. There are some warnings. Of course, we talked about some of the banks that have failed over the year, and they're saying that you might want to again protect your dollars if you're using one of those apps. And quite conveniently, again, that's coming at the same time as the U.S. government is rolling out their own whole processing app and digital currency platform. So yeah, a lot of things to get into with that. So we'll definitely be talking about that situation. Um, so yeah, follow the money, man. Follow the money. Also, speaking of following the money, The People's Party. Of course, we're talking about party politics and what it means for campaigns and candidates and the financial support that they get. Let's all be honest. Again, the reality of the beast is that finances still play a major part in politics. And now Cornel West announcing that he will be running with the new party, the People's Party, which is very interesting. Again, we've talked about the Independent Party, but we actually looked at some of the platform points and looked a little bit into this People's Party. So we'll definitely be talking about this announcement. I've been saying it, man, and I just kind of feel it in my bones. 2024 is going to be very interesting politically.
Yeah,
Very interesting. Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. As you call it, the great soap opera.
That's right. Great
Yeah, man.
American stories.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But in other news, I definitely gonna look at the DED and their new announcement. Again, the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, which we're all looking closely as they will be managing the LB 1024 funds. But they've also announced a middle income workforce and housing investment fund, which we'll be looking at. Of course, housing still a hot topic here in the community and on the show. And some usual names, some usual suspects hopping up on this list. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that, and of course, get into this whole land bank situation as well. Yeah, it's all connected. So we're gonna get into that and more. Of course, as always, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not discussing, feel free to jump into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. If we have some information, we'll get into it. And if you have some information, feel free to add that to the conversation as well. We're here to talk with you, not to you. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you. Let's go.
Let's go. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, Paul
Yeah,
B. the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd. You're listening to all the good news today, all the bad news today, all the news that's on your mind, all the news that we've been gathering from all these different organizations, and for the sole purpose of having a discussion. So we appreciate everybody that's here. If you are on Facebook or YouTube, do us a favor and share the show so we can get as many people in the discussion as possible. And we really appreciate that. It is June the 7th, 2023.
Yeah, man.
And so yeah, and firmly in the middle of the year already, and about 3 weeks away from the end of season 5 for us over here.
It's
So
crazy.
that's the status. That's what's going on. We will be speaking to Kimara Snipes, put some respect on her name, seeing what's good in the hood. Precious McKesson hit us up and said that she won't be able to make it this morning, unfortunately, but we do have a couple other special guests coming on as well. Andrea Joy Pearson, who's doing a lot of good work right now, and also Alajia, who's putting on the
Man.
Joy Fest, man. So we're gonna be talking about what's coming up on around Juneteenth and all the activities that's happening. It's Native Omaha year, it's Juneteenth year, it's a lot going on. Malcolm X's birthday. There's several events that happen around this time now every year here in Omaha. So very interesting that all these things are building up bigger and bigger at all times, and it'll be good. It'll be good to like really see how things have grown, and and just how things have progressed, and to just have some things to do on the north side is just it's almost like a blessing every time it goes down. So we'll see what's up.
Man, speaking of growth and progression, man, like I'm definitely looking forward to speaking to Lala. I've kind of witnessed personally her growth from just graduating from high school and you know all the way now to being an artist and community organizer. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So
What's
definitely
up?
looking forward to that conversation. But it also hit me, man. I wanted to say, man, like just on the show, just really quickly, just a heartfelt message and sentiment. Like this isn't really even just a fully only a conversation. I'll say, like, I really feel like I enjoy being able to come here with y'all and have a human experience. Like, we laugh, we cry, we get into the serious things, we talk about whatever, and it really is a beautiful thing. that we can come together and do this, man. So I appreciate everybody, who make this possible. Not just me and Paul, but all of y'all. And again, it wouldn't be the same without y'all. We just
Yeah.
be talking to each other.
Chad Chimers, man, that's what this is all about for sure, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Pops in the chat talking about what took our great grandfather, my great grandfather. Diabetes is what took what Gramps Nathan J had, lost his sight and his leg. Serious biz for sure.
Yeah, man.
So we're definitely on that tip. We can use this platform too to help remind each other. Don't be faking the phone. Go to the doctor, man. You don't. We can't be living superstitiously thinking that if we don't go, then nothing's gonna be wrong. And then wait till the last minute. That's happened too many times in our family. So we so we need to just keep on encouraging each other to make sure we go get checkups. Take care of our health. The point here is some longevity. Let's have some longevity around here. We are aware now of the ways of the things that has gone on in the past that has shortened our lifespan. So let's try to do something about lengthening that if we possibly can and help each other encourage.
Here's the flip to that though, because and Mama God dropping some gems about the medicine, because it's not only it's not she went to the doctor, she got a medicine, and it's the medicine that caused her eye problem. So that's interesting as well. Please make sure we're doing our own research and making sure we're aware of what the doctors are even giving us.
Yeah.
But yes, do go to the doctor, but do your own research.
Yeah.
Please be aware,
Keep
be
your
on
eye
top
on
of
them.
your. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So Mama God is dropping in the chat. If anyone who else is diabetic and you may have been prescribed Mounjaro, which is tirzepatide. I can't even pronounce that. But she says this is all from a diabetic meds website. If you have diabetic retinopathy, which is what she dealt with, is damage of blood vessels in the eye, using Mounjaro can make it worse. The risk is higher when you first start this medication or when your provider raises the dose. So again, if anyone out there is diabetic and dealing with Mounjaro, hey, look into it. Look into it.
Tirzepatide.
Yeah. I'm not. You can have at that one.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, keep your eye on the doc too. Do the research on the medicine, so on and so forth. You have choices.
Yeah, man.
You can suggest medicines. You can refuse medicines.
Right.
All those things, man. But and then it kind of starts at the doctor's level anyway. Like find the right doctor. Search, or you can choose too. It's I got a tough time. I don't know. There's certain times I'll go in there. It's really about all who you trust, but it's also like what kind of reputation they got. There's a lot that has to be done, but I mean we do that for so many different other things, man. We do it all the time. We do it in all other aspects of life where we vet people and do the research and have to figure things out on our own. And all those things. So we can't, and we also have family members. We got people around us too that are in the medical industry that are already kind of looking at these things. So there's a lot that can be done here for us to kind of keep ties and checks, just like you follow the money. Check the doctors too.
Yeah,
all the pharmaceuticals, everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Actually, yeah, my mom's Mama God's cousin is like one of the top nurses at UNMC. So, definitely ask around. And that kind of goes back to our conversation we were having on Monday, just to kind of round it back around and pull it in as far as information. Where do we get information, and how do you vet information? Not everything that you read on the internet is true. You know what I mean? So how do you vet information, and where do you go?
Good question, indeed. That's the thing. Like we were talking about with John Houston. The future of that is going to be, the vetted, the information. Like that's the way news got to turn, because news is going to happen with people just picking up their phone, going out shooting stuff and saying stuff. So now you got to look. You hear that, you see that on your TikTok or whatever, and now you got to go to your trusted source. Well, who is your trusted source? It's got to be people who are doing the deep dive research, and bringing the real, true everything to light. I mean, that's where news got to go. If that's not what news is for, then I don't know. News, the future of news to me is that part. Is the we got to lean more into the fact checks. So, yeah, and that goes goes with everything. There's got to be groups out there that look over pharmaceutical companies, certain medicines. There's been obviously work that's done, because if you hear about a medicine on a commercial, it's got all these side effects that they have to list now. They didn't used to have to list those, But when you hear all this stuff at the end of the commercial about all the side effects, it's because somebody did the work to push in the legislature that needs to be on the commercial along with the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So so we the more work to be done, and it's all about conversation and information and everything that we need to really kind of hip each other to all the time, and share knowledge. That's what we're here to do. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's what we're here to do.
yep.
So, without further ado, man, you want to go ahead and jump into the stories? I feel like it's a good segue.
Sure, yeah, we can do that. But before we do that, though, I just want to acknowledge that the chat is going off pretty good. I really appreciate
Yeah, it
everybody
is.
jumping into the chat. Brother Valadera says that's horrible, but remember the FDA controls how many medications can be out with the horrible side effects. Reminder: Yaz, yeah, killed a woman. Okay, I don't know what that
Oh,
does.
I think that's a medicine.
Yaz, yeah, don't know what that is. Let me know what that medication is. Also, he says doctors and pharmaceuticals salesmen.
Meds, I think.
Meds, yep, yep. Mama God says, keep in mind, many people are using the med for weight loss.
That
Uh,
okay. Dang. I heard
so
about
I
that.
heard about that too. I didn't know that was the same medication. Said people calling me to buy mine since I no longer take it. Wow,
Wow, man. We don't really talk about it, but
it ain't
do we
like the old
do
days, man.
do we need to get into big pharma at some point?
big,
Is
big,
that a conversation we need to have?
big pharma pill slinging is like crack from the '80s.
Man, I mean, we talked about Purdue and the just the whole what is the word? It's not amphetamines. It's not is it amphetamines? Is that these painkillers?
I'm not sure what they are. I haven't heard. I haven't got into them that deep. Says everybody's taking these diabetic meds for weight loss, so don't care. They will pay lawsuit if necessary. They really want those. Yaz, he said Yaz was a med. I didn't know
Yeah,
about
yeah, I heard
Yaz.
about that.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot, man. It's interesting that you hear more. I mean,
Mm.
besides like um what's the real bad drug that
You
um
talking about fentanyl?
fentanyl. Besides fentanyl, which wasn't
Yeah,
fentanyl.
for some reason I kept thinking of methanol, but yes, fentanyl.
Fentanyl started as a pharmaceutical drug too, didn't it? Didn't it start as a
Yeah, I believe so.
right?
I
Right.
believe so. It's still prescribed. Like you still doctors are still using fentanyl, they're just controlling doses and things like that. But it's still fentanyl. And yes, Marianne, I was talking about opiates. Thank you. Yes, we
Opiates.
talked about opiates and the sale of opiates from doctors.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, you
The
know,
it's weird how it's such a different day because you would hear back in the day about all the street drugs that was doing something to you all the time. The street drugs was the one that the war on drugs was on street drugs.
right.
And now it's totally different. Everything that's killing you now, everything that's jacking you up now is pharmaceutical drugs. That
Yeah.
and
Well,
there's an underground kind of a underground thing where they kind of hustle with that. Like Mama God said, they trying to buy them drugs off of her for weight loss.
Well, the war on drugs was really a war on people. This is actually a war on the drug itself,
Yeah.
which is very
Well,
interesting
yeah,
as far as opiates.
yeah. Um, and they've already done a whole bunch of stuff to protect themselves from that too, like the family
Right.
who came up with the
Purdue.
Purdue, yeah, and they're separated. They're separated from that now, so they can never get sued again and all those things. But it's just interesting, like that's what the war is on now. I mean, today is Prince's birthday. He died of fentanyl.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Full
saying?
circle. Full circle.
Yeah. So it's kind of you hear about our heroes back in the day was overdosing on coke and heroin. You know what I'm saying, like all
Hmm.
kinds of stuff like that. That was kind of the thing. Now it's a totally different scene, bro. It's stuff you can get from your doctor, which is the trip, which is really says a lot too for the fact that there's doctors that are so tied into the pharmaceutical things that they're actually pushing certain medications on you. So, definitely something to be looking out for sure. Pop says marijuana started off as a drug psychiatrists prescribed to lift people's spirits into married couples.
Hmm.
I think that's what they used it. They were. I think that from what I understand, there was recreational use going on before that, and then doctors saw the use of the doctors saw a way that saw how it would help, and they that's when they started it up, and it was kind of legit for a minute, and until Mexicans came over and started trading it, and then all of a sudden, then they associated with Mexicans, and then that's when it got to be illegal.
Mm.
So,
Again, on
yeah.
people.
But Valadera says surgery rooms are interesting. Yeah. Brother Sanchez says drugs have four things in common. One, all man made, all addictive, can OD on all drugs. It takes another drug to kick a drug habit. Interesting. That's why some people believe that they should not be classifying marijuana as cannabis as a drug. Doesn't it's not man made. It's not addictive. You can't OD on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trip. Anyway, enough of the drug talk. Let's go ahead. I think I'm glad that we jumped into it too, because I think that that's going to also be a subject that we are start to venture into in future seasons, just because healthcare is kind of that last thing to watch
Man,
with
true.
when you think about all the things that we've been talking about since the beginning of this show a couple years ago. um, you know, um, Healthcare is, we've been talking about housing, school, we've been, what I'm saying, education, following the money. We've been talking about the politics. We've been talking about a lot of things. But I was driving down Dodge Street yesterday and was realizing how much more construction is happening with the healthcare industry. Really, this town that's the industry of the town really now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is UNMC is healthcare. So
Man, I mean, it's Creighton, UNMC, Hospital. Yeah,
yeah, it's a trip.
Emmanuel. Yeah, big
So yeah,
business.
it's big industry here, and it's definitely something to keep your eye on, because you still got people. You got all kinds of stuff. I remember when the Ebola virus happened. They had a whole a hospital here that they were flying people to, because this is where this is the place that you can treat that stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of experimental stuff going on here. There's a lot of cutting edge medicine happening here.
Yeah.
Lots going on, because the Omaha is really, if you want to talk about what the industry is here, that's really one of the biggest ones right now. So definitely something to start keeping our eye on, and just healthcare in general. How are people, especially people who are under a certain economic status, able to even get healthcare in the first place? Just definitely something to check out. Tamika Johnson in the house. Good morning. Says, "Yep, healthcare and prison." Right. We've been talking about prisons. So this is the new one. This is another one that we need to be kind of really keeping our eye on, and engaging in
Mm-hmm.
conversation about. What's
Yeah.
everybody's healthcare situation?
I will take this time to remind everybody that Douglas County has identified uh, race as a health disparity, or connected race and health disparities. So yeah, there are supposed to be plans and activities and organizations that are addressing these things. So yeah, I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, I like that reminder. Good,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
time. Good time.
Message.
Yes. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me. Eh? 7:30,
Man.
7:33 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, buddy, let's go ahead and jump into a story before we get too carried away here.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Start
man.
calling up
We
UNMC and asking about drugs.
yeah. Not that far, not that far. But we do have some actual news to get into. Big shout out to everybody again for going with us wherever we go. But I do want to jump into some stories that we have, as Paul mentioned, been talking about education. That is one of the things, big things. And as we looked at the last few hours of the legislative session, about 20 different education bills were passed in the ticking hours. And now there's an effort to repeal some of those bills. A petition effort has officially kicked off to repeal what was LB 753, which is now the Opportunity Scholarships Act, which is set to take effect next year. The effort started Tuesday on the steps of the state capitol building. Supporters called the act school choice. Of course, we have talked about this, and it's kind of split. I would say among the chat chimers, and we've actually talked to the senators several times, and we've heard why this might work. And there's some people who also have given some good arguments to the other side. But here is exactly how the money would flow with the Opportunities Act. The state will certify organizations to first collect money and then distribute the scholarships. anyone can donate to those organizations, including corporations. In its first years, the state has set aside $25 million to reimburse to taxpayers for their donation. So this is a reimbursable donation that would happen through a tax credit. The limit is half of the total tax bill on to the state, or $100,000. The $25 million cap would progressively increase as years go on if the credits are nearly entirely claimed. So, in other words, again, if more people donate, then more money will go to the program. That's a far more generous, quote unquote, charitable donation match than anything else currently in state tax code, according to Rebecca Firestone, who's the director of Nebraska financial think tank Open Sky, not First Sky, but Open Sky Policy Institute, who is rallying against the program. Opponents say the bill essentially gives public funds, again involving taxpayer dollars, to private schools that don't face the same requirements as public ones, including on admitting LGBTQ plus students or students that require special education. Of course, families are speaking up. Students and families receive first priority for the funds, other than students who received the scholarship the year before, and their siblings. Also, that the tier are, excuse me, also in that tier are students with an IEP, which is an individual education program. Students experiencing bullying and students in foster care would also get first priority as well. So, the petition effort is about 90 days and needs about 5% of registered Nebraska voters. I'm not exactly on the actual hard number of that, but about 5%. They could go a step further and put the act on hold if they get about 10% of voters to sign. So, again, a lot of things to look at as far as what's going on in our schools. Public versus private is always a big conversation. And again, there are arguments and scenarios as private schools in low income communities have had success in the past, but there's also been situations where private schools have left some of those students in the back. So few chats. Paul, I see you nodding. What do you think?
I don't really have a comment too much on this. I think I want to see what this group does, and like you said earlier in the story, excuse me, the chat chimers are split on this subject. From what I can tell, from what people are when they comment on this, so reiterate what it is that you think about whether or not there should be the money that goes to private charter schools and so on and so forth. Because a lot of people are arguing for the choice to be able to move their kid where they think they'll be best helped. And a lot of people are saying, no, let's double down on what it is that we need to do for public schools so that everybody in those schools can get what they need to get to. And it's a bad idea. It's just another way that people, that black and brown kids are going to get separated out from other kids if we don't go the public school route. So, I don't have a comment on it really. I kind of am interested in reiterating, hearing again what chat chimers think on this subject. If you have anybody in the chat been a part of this group, are you part of this pushback? Do we need to talk to somebody who's doing who's in the group doing the pushback? What would we like to learn? What do we want to know and learn from this situation? Is there more discussion needed on what's what, which is which? Like you said, we had the senators on before that actually voted on some of this stuff, and they had reasons behind why they did. And the thing that stuck out in my mind is just having the choice. If certain schools, certain kind of school doesn't work for your kid, you should be able to have the choice to move them to a different school if you can.
And I also, to that point, would like to point out that, again, we've had conversations with Senator Wayne specifically, who is on the state education committee, and he has stated that he's tried to get more money for OPS, which is, again, the largest. If anybody's talking about public schools, most likely they're talking about OPS. And he said that he's trying to increase the tax levy, and they haven't really done the things that signal that they need the tax levy to be increased. Actually, they've done things to lower the tax levy, which
OPS.
signals, right? OPS themselves have done things to lower the tax levy, which in the words of Senator Wayne, signals that they don't need more money. They actually need less money.
Yeah.
So again, it's a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, you said it's hard to lobby for money for somebody who's not asking for it.
Right.
So and remember that OPS got a budget as big as the city, bigger than the city's budget.
Man, hundreds and billions.
No, hundreds of millions of dollars though.
Mm-hmm.
Is it billion? It's
I
not.
don't
It's
think
not a
it's quite a
billion
billion yet, but like
yet.
six or 700 million.
That's crazy. And the other thing too is I think that people were thinking that I believe we've figured that we've come to the conclusion that the money is not being taken from public schools
Right.
for the private schools. That's a different. Those are different funds. So that was one a lot of people's were nervous about that. You're going to take money out of public school in order to put it in these private schools that black and brown kids might not be able to go to and all
Right.
that.
Which is the argument of this organization, Open Sky Policy, who is pushing this petition. They are arguing that the bill does divert money from public schools. Firestone, who's the director, says it does that by setting aside 25 million that could have gone to public schools. Again, the 25 million that she's referring to is a pot of money that is supposed to uh, be a tax reimbursement for those who donate to these this program.
Hmm.
So
Trying to gather what Brother Valadares is saying here. You got a lot of text going on here. I'm trying to get down to a concise comment. He says public schools would literally be defunded in the rural district. We can let that happen. Also, we can't probably saying can't let that happen. Also, Christian and religious schools get money without being taxed.
mhm.
So he said so. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's true or not about the schools being public schools being defunded. Um, I think that was a fear that they had, but we kind of found out from the senators is that that's not the case. He says you have a choice. You don't need to defund schools. I don't think the schools are getting defunded. Marianne Williams says that pretty much the entire Dem party has been against vouchers for decades, and I know many Dems who have their kids in private schools. They demonize. That's interesting.
To the point of defunding schools, this article also goes on to say that the bill sponsor Lou Ann Linehan does call that statement a lie, quote unquote. She says that funding was actually increased to public schools by $305 million this
Yeah,
session.
that's on record. I mean, that's on record. So I mean, we got to get past that message that they're taking money out of public schools and putting it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That those money's coming from somewhere else.
And to that point, I do want to look at who is this Open Sky Institute and kind of what is their platform?
Mm.
What is their end goal? It's a think tank, but what do they think?
What do they think in that
Yeah.
tank?
Right,
But
right, right. It's a
in that
Nebraska
tank
financial.
thinking.
They be
Yeah,
thinking, but what do they be thinking? I don't know. So
thinking
again,
why they be thinking.
I'm kind of along with you, Paul, as far as just kind of step back and see.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I'm open to the idea. I'm trying to listen to all sides. I don't see that this is taking money from public schools. I mean, we can talk about the board itself. Like public schools have their own issues beyond just money.
right.
So we could talk about that. So I don't even think them getting more money would even be the solution. You know what
Well,
I mean? So
like Brother Wayne said, they're not even asking for more money. They
right,
wasn't
right,
even
right, right.
trying to
So
get more
it's
money.
a
So
whole other conversation. But what I will say, and I'll leave it at this, as far as an issue that I could see with this, as far as just in general, low income communities don't have the resources, or the individuals within those communities don't have the resources to donate to actually, create a school or a program that will benefit their children. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
this will obviously benefit, a community that has more business owners, has more homeowners, has more individuals with enough money to even donate. I mean, some people don't even have enough money to donate. You know what I mean? So that's the only gap that I could see being created from this. But again, I don't know. It looks like Marianne Williams is giving us some information on Open Sky though. So
Oh,
thank
really?
you. Yeah, yeah. She says Open Sky is a great think tank, and they're right. But could have gone to private schools and would have gone to are two different things. And I agree.
Up a little further in the chat, Brother Valadares is saying rural districts are hurting, especially Latino kids. Definitely something to be paying attention to. Also, Marlon Harrison in the chat. Good morning on Facebook. He says we should be more focused revamping education and how to keep teachers and bring back teachers instead of school choice. Both public and private schools are looking for a lot of teachers and other support staff.
Hmm.
Very true too, brother Valadares. But they are are taxpayer funds. Talking about what where that money's coming from. Also, they should not be used privately deregulated bigotry. Yeah, like I said, I'm not. I mean, it's not like people can't take advantage of these of these other choices. So it'd be different if we were getting these reports that people, everybody was getting left out of this. I don't think they are, and I think that the public school is a totally different thing. We can't really put that together with what's going on with these other school vouchers and choices. I mean, they can say scrap all that all together and take all that money and give it to OPS. But if OPS ain't even asking for the money, if they're not acting right with the money they got, it seems like there's got to be some different solutions there that will affect OPS. And it's not just whether or not there's other school choices that is part of that. I don't think. Wanda Lewis on Facebook says it should go both ways. Donors should be able to get tax credits for donating to public schools as well. True.
Okay.
I like that idea.
Okay. Okay. That's one.
Marianne Williams says it takes from the general fund that could be sent to public schools, but you can say that about many things. Yeah, and again, the public OPS is not isn't there's they're getting they have no shortage of funds. I mean, they need to probably manage it differently and maybe ask for more and maybe pay teachers better. There's a lot of stuff that can be done, but I think if they were in there trying to get it done, they would get it done. It would get done. I think they got a lot of proponents for people that are trying to get more money for public schools as well. Wanda Lewis says if they donate, they should be able to choose public or private for the tax write-off. I think it's a good idea. Brother Sanchez says no matter what school kids go to, no matter what school kids go to, the community needs to teach their kids at home how the other communities against them in all aspects of their life. But Valderas says we should really be investing in public schools. Believe it at this as far as not reinventing on issues or reinvesting on issues that don't have plans. We already have the ability to put people in private schools. We're just literally putting taxpayer funds into private entities that are somewhat bigoted and don't follow the state or federal regulations. I don't know, man. Those are some big comments there. I don't know what schools are not following state and federal regulations. First of all, and second of all, there's too many examples. I mean, I can just think of the Mandela School out here it just is one that benefiting a lot of kids, a lot of black and brown kids here too. So I don't think it's that cut and dry.
Actually, to the Mandela point, like if we had more Mandela schools, it would benefit because Mandela has a long waiting list. So rather than, students having to apply and not make it in or not get in just because of sheer numbers, if they had another school that they could apply to that was similar, that would benefit. And also I'm hearing what Valadares is saying, but it's a choice. It's still up to the taxpayers. Like the taxpayers don't have to donate to this. It's a choice. And there's $25 million set aside. If they do so choose to donate, that they will get a reimbursement. So I kind of feel what you're saying. Like, so if no one chooses to donate to this, then I believe that 25 million that has been set aside will go to something else because nobody's being reimbursed because nobody's donating.
It's not necessarily going to go back to public school. Going to go to public school. It's going to
right because public schools have already received 305 million, and also I mean it's 300 plus million that's already gone to public schools, and only 25 million set aside for this project. So I'm just kind of open to it. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, Marianne Williams says public schools are racist too, and we publicly fund that racism. Says it costs $0 to enforce laws against discrimination. So, I agree we should invest in public schools. I also believe we should invest in education. Period, no matter the type of school. Yeah, most def. Tony Johnson in the chat. Good morning. Says Sacred Heart, another school in North Omaha. Wanda Lewis says the Logier used Nelson Mandela as a tax write-off. Yeah, they may. They probably. I mean, yeah, they do. I'm sure they do. But I also know that there's been that's a school that has benefited some of our kids in our community for sure.
And I know I have a few peers that love teaching there.
That too. Black Zam09 gives us a good morning. He says, Paul, I heard Cali is big on charter schools. What do you know about them? Would they be helpful there? Be honest, bro. I don't know too much about them. I've been away from the school systems in Cali for too long to know what's going on over there now. I'm sure it's changed since I was since I was around, for sure. But we know that in general. I think we kind of all know in general. A lot of the schools are being used to separate people. Most definitely, we know that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not always the case, and I think that the what people who have been looking into it are telling me is that it's better to have the choice, because if we need a lot of investment, a lot of changes need to happen in OPS. Just take OPS for example. A lot of changes need to happen there for sure. If your kid is falling through the cracks and they got an opportunity to go to Mandela, and Mandela is holding them up in a way that the public school can't, why is that a bad thing? So we ask for your opinions on this because we recognize every time we talk about this, the chat sometimes is split on these
Mm-hmm.
things, and and
Mm-hmm.
uh, and there's room for both things. Both things feel pretty right to me. At the same time, there's some facts in there that I think are getting a little misconstrued, and they add to it. But even if they're not taking money out of public school for these private charter schools, even if that's not the case, there's still something to be said about how charter schools and private schools and religious schools separate people out. And some people don't have the opportunity to be a part of those things. All those things are also true. But I think if you're going to look at it if you're going to stand back and look, you got to say, what's better, to have the choice or just to be stuck with, trying to shore up where the kid's going now. All the changes I ever hear about OPS making is going to be like 10 years down the line. What are the kids going to do? But that's what Brother McKinney
Mm-hmm.
was saying. Senator McKinney was saying these changes that they're talking about making in OPS are always 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line. So what happens to the generation before that's going now? What's going on now when you take your kid to school now and something's up and you're like, this ain't good? Wouldn't you want to have the choice? I don't know. Also, Tony Johnson in the chat says charter schools vary from states. Marion Williams says
Mm-hmm.
charter schools are public schools and not available in Nebraska yet. Yeah, we're mostly talking about public schools. Private schools that they're talking about here mostly. I don't even think we have charter schools here, do we?
No.
She said not available in Nebraska, right?
Right.
So,
And just to kind of clarify, because that is something that we always talk about, the difference between public, private, and charter schools.
mhm.
Public schools are, of course, local school districts funded by the public state tax dollars and must follow all state and federal education laws. Charter schools, however, are independent schools. Independent. Well, it says independent public schools, so they are funded by the public or private donors and must follow education laws, but have freedom from some rules. And private schools are completely funded privately, ran privately, no government oversight.
Can you even invest and can you donate to public school? Is that even a thing?
I don't know. And who was it? Sister Wanda Lewis that said people should get a refund for donating them.
I mean that should be a thing, but I mean I thought you just got a really good idea. I'm not sure if you can even donate to a public school. Can you? Can you?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Anybody out there knows? Let us know for sure. Yeah,
I
but
might have to
appreciate
do it.
all your comments on this subject. We'll definitely continue to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Education is an evergreen topic for us, so we will do that.
Yeah, and right up there with education is housing. Just to make a quick pivot, man. Continue the conversation and jump into other news. Because regardless, if the student goes to public or private school, if the house is in shambles, if the family is not supported, then the education isn't going to stick because they're worried about surviving.
Mm.
So again, shout out to this Omaha nonprofit who is pairing low income families with new homes. We do know that youth adolescent homelessness is a issue in Omaha. And again, regardless if you go to private, regardless of what school, even if you're going to school, let's just start there. Because again, if the home situation is in shambles, then school is a second thought. And helping low income families and maintain energy efficient homes is definitely a need. And that's the mission of Gesu's Affordable Housing Program. Friday, the nonprofit handed the Rye family keys to their homes. Now, Pat Evans, who's the executive director of Gesu Housing, that's GESU. I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
this program, but again, Gesu Housing executive director Pat Evans says people have a true desire to have stability, to be able to build their family, to build their wealth, to have an environment to grow. For more than 18 years, Jisoo has apparently worked to build quality homes and sell them at affordable rates. Jim Kavanaugh, who's a Douglas County commissioner, also says it's really the fulfillment of the American dream for this lovely family, who again just got the keys to their new home. This house sold for $145,000, which is far less than the actual cost of building it. We have a lot of supporters, of course. The Creighton Prep Collaborative, the network, has worked with Jisoo for 20 years, basically, to fund. That's according to the director. So, again, I'm not familiar with this organization. So, if anyone in the chat has any information, definitely please let us know. But how some of these projects and this organization in general is funded, excuse me, is quite interesting. There were some ARPA funds apparently wrapped up into this. Douglas County Commissioner came in. They unanimously voted to allocate $100,000 in ARPA funds to Jisoo. Kavanaugh says all of us on the board saw this as just an extension of what we all participated in our own families going back. But the keys are officially handed over to the families, and they are actually trained on how to maintain their new home and manage their finances. So not only kind of given keys and sent on their way told good luck, but actually getting some knowledge and information to help maintain, which is definitely a beautiful thing. So yeah. Again, big shout out to this organization. I'm not familiar with it, but might need to learn some more.
Man, definitely need to learn some more, especially when they talk about Creighton being one of the funders for this. Which
Yeah, Creighton Prep Collaborative.
Creighton Prep Collaborative. Been a part of this thing for 10 years. They said been
20.
20 years. Yeah, and we haven't heard. The other question is that does anybody know anybody who got some keys? Who's getting the keys? So follow the money, follow the whole thing. It's always interesting to me. As much as we talk about these things and we hear about these organizations that have been around for 20 years and we didn't know nothing about it or haven't heard about it before. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised about that, but it seems surprising as much as we are talking about housing and affordable housing and so on. So let us know. Let us know if you know anything about this. Wanda Lewis has recently found out that OPS will provide assistance in rent and utility bills if requested and needed through the school that the child attends. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I've heard whispers of that. I think that was like a pandemic era situation, but that has not stopped.
So that would be an area where more funds to OPS would help the community more for sure. But again, OPS hasn't been asking for those. And for people that are talking about us bringing on people from OPS, we did reach out to Ricky Smith several times, and we're going to continue to do that. And also, Brianna Full has actually been reaching out to us. We just have been missing each other. But she wants to come on and give us some regular reports from the OPS board, and we're actually kind of working on that season 6, having a little bit of more of a regular segment with her coming on maybe once a week and checking in on that with us. Wanda Lewis has recently found out that no, that's we just read that. So yeah, that's a really interesting thing. I had no idea that was happening, but it makes a lot of sense that there can be programs that way. I mean, that's the kind of money that OPS has, where they can put programs in place that they can assist with your utility bills and stuff like that for the school you attend. So it just, we're really talking about the choices that OPS makes with the money that they got coming in, which is bigger than the city's budget. Really something to talk about. We can't leave that out of the conversation when we're talking about other kinds of schools and other things getting funded, because like I always say, the more I learned about OPS, the more I know that even me, as a person that doesn't have a kid in OPS, is affected. That's my neighbors are the ones that are getting resources from OPS to pay utility bills and so on. Like it affects the whole city.
Yeah,
It's just too big of an entity.
So do you feel like OPS should be doing more?
OPS obviously could be doing more. Look at all these things that we keep learning about what they are doing that we didn't know. And they're obviously using, that's why the budget's so big. They're obviously using some of those funds to do all those kinds of things, and they probably could be doing way more. So it'd be interesting to really, if we can really get somebody on to even talk about all the programs and all the things that's going on, we should actually be doing. We should actually be finding out about some of that stuff. Kimara Snipes is in the chat. We're going to bring her on in just a second. She said the city should be doing more. Actually, sure, city should be. OPS probably shouldn't be the ones that are engaging in this. But the point is, if they got this money to be able to do that, and I mean, where the program's coming from is interesting.
Yeah. Before I get to what they should and shouldn't be doing, what are they doing? Is really the question. What are they doing? Like you said, the budget is more, if not the same as the city.
It's more than the city's budget.
And we have, teachers not getting paid. Transportation is an issue. I don't know what the food situation is like. I mean, they just built new schools, so I'm sure that costs some money. But yeah, I mean, if the teachers aren't getting paid, like who is getting paid?
They're getting paid, but they probably need to get paid more, and then more teachers need to be enticed to come and work. I mean, there's a lot that needs to be changed just from us, our limited perspective from the outside. So be interesting to hear when somebody comes on and talk about what's actually happening, and then maybe there can be some shaping of what ends up happening. Mm-hmm. But let's table this. It's 8:00 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're now in the second hour of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Be the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to bring on Miss Kimara Snipes, put some respect on her name. We're going to see what's good in the hood. Stay tuned. Again, it is June the 7th, 2023. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, and ladies and gentlemen, now seeing what's good in the hood, Miss Kimara Snipes.
Hey, I like that jacket.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am pretty wonderful.
Yeah, coming in all smiles and stuff, all shining.
Yeah, I'm pretty wonderful. Yes, I am. How y'all doing? Happy belated birthday, Paul.
Thank you. Appreciate you very much. Thank you. I'm doing okay. I'm still recovering a little bit. I went out to eat probably about 10 times over the weekend. So so my diet got all twisted around and messed up. So
man, people love you, and that's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, we love you too, and we definitely glad you on today.
Yeah,
I'm loving the colors that you're busting out there. That's matching the smile that you got this morning. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm saying it's all bright. It's bright.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring some brightness and some color. Yeah, that's how I feel. So
okay.
How was your weekend? How was the week? What's been going on with you?
It's been a lot going on. Still getting adjusted to my role at One Omaha. So, learning new things like accounting and making sure people get paid and things like that. And getting adjusted to my new staff, visioning what I want to do, reaching out to funders, working on like a 90-day plan. Last Thursday was the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance annual banquet.
Yeah.
And we had close to 200 people there.
Hey.
I'm very proud. And I'm here to tell you that it is not Kimara Snipes. It is definitely that leadership team. And so it was a great time. And I was so busy that they snuck one in on me and they gave me an award. And I had no clue. I didn't see
What?
the program till that night. And I'm looking at it like, why they got my name down to present to somebody? They didn't tell me who to present to. Like, what is happening right now?
It
Hmm.
snuck up on you on that one, huh?
They did. They definitely did. You know, SONA has been in existence since 1969, y'all, and got their 501c3 in 1971. So a lot
Wow.
of longevity there, but they are a prime example of what direct action organizing can do and can produce. And I have a really great, that's what I did my presentation on at NUSA, and I'll be doing some of that at the conference on Friday, talking about direct action organizing and just, you know, how it helps, you know, communities really recognize their own power and come together to really win issues. Because if you're not winning issues, you're really not organizing. And so
Mhm.
the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance is really just such a great example of that. And so I was really grateful and happy. And I told them this is my last round being president. You know what I'm saying? Somebody
Mm.
come on into this space, but it's such a great space to be in. So I'm telling y'all, you know, with my position at One Omaha, I'm hoping to take the vision I've had with Sona and just elevate it to the city. So really excited about that. I went to a meeting yesterday and I cannot believe today I left my notebook at home, y'all. I am
Oh.
just over here
What?
out of my mind. I'm probably gonna leave when I'm done to go home because I don't even know if I can function. But
Oh
but
Left the
man.
book.
yeah,
Left the playbook.
yeah, when I came in, I hadn't listened at all this morning. I've been getting back to like not eating out all the time and like making myself breakfast and making
Mm-hmm.
myself lunch and things like that. Just trying to take it easy because I've also recognized with this new role that I don't know if people really knew how busy I was in my last role at the table. And even physically, like my body went through changes over like the last like year and a half, and now being in this role I can kind of tell that I've like relaxed, and so I'm experiencing some changes and stuff, and so I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I was really stressed the hell out, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
not negatively, it's just that I was doing a lot. And I actually talked to my team because I check in on them, and they're like, yeah, like they can't even like replace you, so that's like not even the plan. So it's like that feels good, you know what I'm saying? But I also recognize like, yo, Kimmer, you was doing too much. And so I'm trying
Yeah.
to focus on not doing so much, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or
I
just
But
mean,
being
yeah, I
that's
just
balanced.
want to
just go ahead, Paul.
I was just saying, just being balanced. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Exactly. Self
yeah.
care.
whenever you leave a position and they got to hire two people to cover what you did, then you know you
Right.
doing too much.
That part. My thoughts exactly. My thoughts exactly. And I know you go hard for the people, Cameron, but you know, you can go
Yeah.
too hard sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, for
You gotta,
real.
you
And,
know.
and that's very true. I'm thinking about, I don't know if y'all saw, there's a young lady in South Omaha, her name is Vanna, and like she had a massive heart attack the other night while she was asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And she's part of the family that was involved in that fire, right? In South Omaha. That was her family. So anyway, you know, I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, you know, I'm trying to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I want to be around. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? My
Mm-hmm.
son gonna have kids one day and I want to be the grandma. You know,
Right.
and so yeah, just yeah, I think about Erica all the time talking about drink that water. I'm like, let me get my
Hmm.
water right now. Every time she's saying, I'm like, yes, on it, because it's just very important. And yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta be around. So I've been definitely trying to find some balance and not doing any work on the weekends and shutting it down at
Nice.
5 o'clock and going to
Yeah.
the lake almost every day and just chilling and meditating or reading my Bible or something. I've been trying to do that too. So
Beautiful.
Man,
yeah,
I'm glad to hear that because I mean, when you first started coming on this show, we used to have to tell you every show, please
Man.
engage in some self care a little bit. You know, like
Man.
dudes be learning self care from women. So if the dudes got to go back to and tell the women to do some self care, then something's up. But I will say this, buddy, and I was thinking about this too. Generation. I've been doing a lot of reading about Generation X, my
Mm.
generation, me and Kimmer's generation. And we just came out going hard like that. Like that's just our generation. We didn't know nothing about no self care. We just knew about going hard. You know what I'm saying? The
Mm-hmm.
whole
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so it's a definite mind
Nah.
change to get to the point of like taking care of yourself and all that kind of stuff. Like that's a definite change for this generation.
I think my generation kind of learned that from y'all generation.
Watching
You know
us
what
go
I'm
too
saying?
hard.
Watching people just burn out, and watching.
Yeah,
And definitely, even now, the generation younger than me, like it's all about working smarter and not harder. With all this AI and all this technology, like man, it's definitely all about working harder and smarter. But even in that, it's all about finding the balance, man. It's all about finding the balance. So,
got
again, we see it. We see the calmness. We see the meditation. We see the lake visits coming out.
I
We
Yeah.
mean,
get
you
going.
even forgot your notebook today. I mean, I got to give you
Right. Just
congratulations on that.
Wow, like I can't believe I walked out my house. As soon as I
Yeah,
that's
got the car, I realized, oh
that's
my
all
God,
right.
it's a positive thing. It's a
It
positive thing.
is.
Think about that for a second. That
yeah.
you went you loosened it up so much. You even left your main brain over there. Like,
I'm really more mad because I took some notes of this meeting yesterday. I couldn't wait to tell y'all about.
Oh, okay. Well,
Man,
it's in the book. It's in the book. You
it's in the
can
book
let us
though.
know next week.
Yeah.
But I am curious because you did mention that you didn't kind of listen to the beginning of the show, and I did want to work you into the conversation that we're having. Of course, we're talking about schools, but even before that, as I mentioned, it doesn't matter what school you go to, private, public, charter. If the home life ain't right, then you can't focus. School is an afterthought. And I'm kind of curious, what is One Omaha doing for families, or what is One Omaha doing? What is your vision,
yeah,
or the work that you want to do with One Omaha to help communities? Because I know that's what you all about.
Right. So as far as vision, to be honest with you, I really plan on sitting down and like doing an actual visioning process with me with in my own brain to put on paper. But as far as like neighborhoods and schools, one of my visions has always been for neighborhood associations and schools to be connected. When you look at neighborhood associations, prime example, the one I belong to, Highland South, Indian Hill. It used to be two separate neighborhood associations that merged. The names of those are literally the names of the elementary schools that are in that neighborhood. So
Mm-hmm.
that tells you right there that there's just a natural connection. When we did our strategic plan with SONA last year, which by the way was the first time in that whole history of the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance a strategic plan had ever been done. And I made sure that we paid somebody to come in and do that process with us, who is also associated with neighborhoods. Part of that strategic plan was connection with the schools. Because my vision is that, for one, I think that schools have a lot placed on them that just should not be placed on them. That's
mm,
just my opinion. And I think that that is because, in my opinion, there's just been some gaps, right? Whether it's intentional, which I don't think so, but it's always about impact anyway. I don't see a lot of connection between like the city and OPS. I realized that when I was running for mayor, and I always just wondered what it would look like if there was a better connection. But as far as neighborhoods go, I want them to be connected, because if you can connect the neighborhood associations and, let's say, like the PTAs or PTOs of schools or just parents of schools, there's just natural development, including leadership development, that's happening. These kids are now brought in to like the neighborhood association process. If you're doing this intentionally, right, you have to sit down and plan first, because people have to have something to do. You have to understand what their self-interest is, and you also have to build relationships with them. But if that process is done correctly, you build this sort of relationship between the two, and then you're organically helping, right? You're going to have a strong PTA that's able to support that school. And these schools are all, I mean, I know OPS is a district, but they're still very much like driven by the leadership of that school. So I think if you
Mm-hmm.
have a strong, like, parent sort of connection, then that's very helpful. I remember when I was a kid, my mother was a part of like PTA and stuff. She made sure she was there. I think she did it because, we were in, a space that had a lot of white people, and she wanted to make sure that, her kids were good, but she was still there. And me seeing that, I knew to keep myself together, right? Because I knew my mama was around, and that she knew the teachers, and that she knew the principal. So there's things that just happen naturally or inorganically. And if you can do that with the elementary schools, and then keep that going into the middle schools over time, you build the system that keeps going. One of the things we did with SONA also is we gave away 2 Thursday night scholarships to like Metropolitan Community College, right? It ain't about just kids just coming in. We have something for you. You know what I'm saying? You have an opportunity to get a scholarship by being involved with like your neighborhood group and things like that. So it's basic because I've always done this as a volunteer, never as someone who's gotten paid for it. But this has like been my vision, and I think that through that, just it can't be anything but good in the end, right? So as far as One Omaha is concerned, again, I'm still getting my feet wet, but I have a lot of vision. Man, there's so many things I'd love to do. The biggest thing, which I don't want to talk about yet, but when I went to the NUSA conference, you know, I was down there talking and listening and paying attention and taking notes. And I came back with this really phenomenal idea that can pull a lot of information over 4 different like area, like people and infrastructure and like relationships and systems as well. And so I want to do that, and I also want to talk to people. I'm getting ready to reach out to all the neighborhood leaders and alliance leaders. I want to put back together our alliance like advisory group, right? And really, I was looking at the city charter. The city charter, the city council has the power to put together these different advisory groups too. Why don't the city have like a neighborhood advisory sort of group? Because another thing I recognize coming back from NUSA is that almost everybody I connected with down there worked like for the city, right? So that means that the city has this focus on neighborhoods that's being invested in. And so when you look at Omaha, it's like most of the people going belong to like neighborhood groups. And this particular time, it was just Precious and I. And so there's this gap that exists somewhere. Maybe if we had a neighborhood advisory council under the city that One Omaha is involved with, that could be beneficial. But these are just like super initial thoughts. I'm open to input. I'm open to all that because again, I just want to do this right and intentionally because I am concerned about impact and because I know the power that exists within neighborhoods, and I want to see that come out in a really positive way, which could essentially change the whole city, right?
Yeah, that's right. We want to remind people that you've been president of SOMA, South Omaha Neighborhood Association. You've also been on the school board,
Yeah.
and
ran for mayor.
But as far as the school board is concerned and SONA is concerned, Von Chapman has a question. Does SONA or any of the community organizations have a relationship with OPS in terms of responsibility to the community? Do you feel like you're the one that is going to be bridging that gap since those are your backgrounds? Can you see a path for bridging those gaps?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, like when COVID happened, I was on the board at that time. So of course I had more access as well. But one of the conversations I would have with OPS, and I go back to, and it's not just OPS, it's many government organizations, right? There is this major issue with communication with all communities. Okay. Understanding that we live in a city again that speaks more than 120 languages, not including dialects. And so I would have the conversation with them that, you have to figure out how to communicate with all communities, which means you might need some help, and it's okay to say so. And so I in my mind, I always saw neighborhood alliances as like communication tool. This is what I was trying to tell. Anyway, communication tools, right? So we establish ourselves as a communication tool for the district, at least for South Omaha. We would have them come on, we would have different departments come on, and we had to, of course, go on Zoom and Facebook Live, which isn't the most inclusive, but we were working with what we had as an all volunteer-led organization. But we had upwards of like 4,000 people watching our meetings.
Wow.
So, I mean, that was positive. And again, as an all volunteer-led organization, it's tough to make that like super official in a way where it's consistent. But we happen to have within our membership a school board member who is Margot Juarez. You know what I'm saying? And so she's able to bring us information. But if you have these alliances set up the way they're meant to, then they have relationships with their elected officials. And so these people are coming to these meetings and they are relaying what is happening. So this is the problem I have right now with this District 4 City Council seat. We have nobody. But to be honest with you, even before it happened, we really didn't, because he wasn't coming anyway. But You know what I'm saying? That's what they're
Right.
supposed to do. Roger Garcia comes to our neighborhood alliance meetings, Commissioner Garcia, and he relays this information. I ain't gonna lie, I love you, Roger, but I did have to reach out. But ever since I did, Roger has been there every single time, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I reached out to Benny, who came one time and never came back.
And now he's never coming back.
Right.
Tony Johnson in the chat asked, do conversations about school systems and impact they have on neighborhoods come up in your neighborhood meetings? School systems.
Conversations about, say that again because I'm not reading the chat.
About school systems.
And the impact on the community.
So our role at SONA is to hear from our neighborhood leaders, right? Now, I'm not hearing that come up from neighborhood leaders. So I can't say that's necessarily been a conversation. I'm not saying it can't be either. But, our role is to facilitate communication and to really understand what's going on and help our people get to what they need to really win, the issues they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. It's more of a support role than your dictating conversation. It sounds
like. It's more of so basically what our agenda is this. We come in, each member, neighborhood group, or community organization that's there, they share what's going on in their neighborhoods, any events they have coming up. The police are there to hear any concerns that they may have in their neighborhoods. They are also there to let us know what's going on because, you see what happens on the news, but there's stuff happening in communities that you never, ever hear about. You know what I'm saying? About all the car thefts that have happened, but mostly it's for the people to say, hey, like I'm having a problem with this, or I'm having a problem with that. And I have sat there and watched these problems have existed, but because we were able to facilitate that, they've been solved. So we do that. We get reports from our elected officials on what's happening. There's room for questions to be asked and all of that. Sometimes we have somebody who may come and present. We've had people to come and talk about ARPA funds. We've had people come and talk about what's going on with OPPD. We've had MUD come and present about things they have going on. We only have like an hour and a half, so it's not a whole lot of time. But any issue can be raised. So we're open to anything, but it's more so a space to, again, have communication to understand what's going on, because that's the first part of anything. And I don't care if you're the Chamber of Commerce. I met with Julie Smith, who was the first director of One Omaha this week, and she said something. She said, One Omaha is economic development. I was like, let's talk about that more. And it makes perfect sense, because if some developer wants to come in and they want to do something, if anybody wants to come in the community and do anything that affects the people, and you should be going and getting input from the people, right? And so if you have a strong neighborhood association, then you have these people who understand what their power is, and they leverage that to make sure that you're coming to talk to them. So essentially, it is like the first step. So it is economic development. Like in my mind, I just really appreciated the way that she said that.
Let me ask you a question. Since you have been pulled, since you are not on the OPS board anymore, you were on the board while you were president of SOMA at one point. You were doing both. Is there any representation from OPS board anymore in the SOMA meetings, or any of the neighborhood association meetings, or anybody that's there that you can talk directly to that's on the board?
Oh yeah, we do, because Margot Juarez was actually my secretary for SONA when she was appointed to the OPS board. She's since then resigned as secretary because, OPS board work is a lot of work, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't Kimara Snipes, you know what I'm saying? But
many jobs, man.
I love her, you know what I'm saying? But it is a lot of work, and it's a lot of input, y'all.
I just saw her name come up a few times. We have to get to know who she is now. Yeah,
we have her. I met Margot back in 2017 when I was actually collecting signatures for city council when Vinny beat me. But anyway, and I met her, and she approached me and asked me could she knock doors with me, and I was like, wow, this woman stepped up and offered. People don't do that. So people like that I pay attention to. And so I'm like, yeah, you can come on over here to SONA. And she just started a neighborhood association and everything. I appreciate people like that. So I was very happy to support her when she wanted to be on the school board. and went to speak for her because to have somebody who's also connected to neighborhoods is very important to me. You know,
Yeah.
Precious brought somebody up to me when we was in El Paso. She said, Kimara, tell them what you always say to everybody about neighborhoods and elected officials. Oh, if you ain't fooling with neighborhoods, then you ain't getting elected by me or anybody I know. So that's just what it is. Because if you ain't showing up for neighborhoods, I can't fool with you. I don't care what color you are. Plain blank period.
I hear that. Wanda Lewis in the chat says that's what OPS needs is different departments with a representative in each department bringing forth issues and corrective measures that would improve each department, not just one representative. What do you think about that?
Needs is different departments with a representative in each department bringing forth issues and corrective and went away measures.
Corrective measures
I
that would
guess
improve.
it says department. I'm wondering which department, but I think I'm not sure exactly what she means. My comprehension ain't always the best, just being very honest with you, especially early in the morning.
Tell us,
But
tell us what different departments you mean, Ms. Lewis.
yeah, because I
She
know she
says,
has great ideas.
she says,
So
she says similar to the city council, when there's only one person representing as a whole, it can be under a dictatorship of acceptance without debates.
yeah, I
Um,
agree.
so which departments? I'm wondering that myself too. What departments in OPS? Or what are the different departments in OPS that you think a representative from each needs to come? Needs to rep. Let
Yeah,
us know. Let us know what that is. Because I think we on to something with that. I really like.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that idea.
I'm kind of thinking along those lines too, like of representatives. Like we're talking about and that going back to the conversation we had last week. You know, when we recap Noosa with you and Precious, and I got a little heated as far as like with all these ideas. How is this ever going to get implemented? How is everything from any talent, any ideas, any inspiration, any resources? How's anything from the neighborhood level ever going to get to the city and vice versa if the city isn't invested in these? And furthermore, city council, like what are they doing if they're not representing the areas that they're elected to represent, which are neighborhoods?
yeah.
Like what are they? Like, for instance, why isn't Councilwoman Juanita Johnson at the Noosa conference if she's also a part of the 24th Street corridor?
I mean, is she still president of NOMA? No, that was.
So yeah, I don't know. Like again, have you had that conversation, or do you have any idea why Councilwoman Juanita Johnson, who seemed very invested in at least the 24th Street neighborhood, is not there representing both the 24th Street neighborhood and her position as a city councilwoman? Like, why? And that's just
Yeah,
one example,
yeah. Just to let you guys know where we're at right now. It's 8:27 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we got about 3 more minutes with Miss Snipes because we do have another special guest coming on. I want to see if you have a comment on this. Omaha City Council members re-elected Pete Festerson as council president during Tuesday's meeting. The vote was unanimous, with Festerson receiving all 6 votes. Um, let's see. Amy Melton is voted in as vice president now. Melton received 5 votes, while Juanita Johnson received 1 vote. Any, any comment on any of these on any of this voting on Festerson, on Amy Melton? What are your thoughts here as far as and the reason why I'm asking is City Council. Uh, you've mentioned that there's too much going, that they put too much responsibility on OPS, and it needs to be the city that is helping these situations out. Do you think that team can do that?
I think that. Do I think they can do that? I think that if they can, I always talk about intellectual curiosity. You know what I'm saying? I think that if they can do that and really, really work with neighborhoods and find ways to really, here's what I would love to see is just for the city to recognize that our 6 alliances can bring so much value to them. You know what I'm saying? That's all we really want to do is bring value by helping you communicate with your residents. There's no way that one person, a mayor, or 7 people city council members can communicate with every person that they represent. These districts are way too large. So if we can invest in our neighborhoods properly, then you have a mechanism in place. You have a model. And who knows, you may be able to brag about that to other cities, about this model that you have. Now everyone's communicated with it. It's not just about communication. What about when a disaster happens?
Right.
right?
Right.
Like that fire that happened in South Omaha. I didn't get one single text about, and I had no car to even leave my neighborhood while smoke is billowing over my house.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Or all the text messages that did go out were in English only. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you know my neighborhood, but that's not an English only neighborhood.
Right.
Mm.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
mean, is it not? It is. I
Question.
don't see. Yeah, I don't see how it's not clear that neighborhood associations and just neighborhood being the base level to civic engagement and
Yeah.
like the bottom of the pyramid, both up and down.
Yeah.
maybe.
Moral of the story here is that we have to have better communication.
Right.
We all know that neighborhood association is the vehicle for that.
Right.
And I think that you guys have done such a great job in becoming in pushing that idea. And really, it's the city that got to come around to this. And
Not just the city, the county, the state,
Mm.
and at the federal level, because I had some conversations at Newfield with some federal folks too, and there's just gaps in a lot of places, but there needs to be more support and just investment, period, from all levels.
really,
All
real.
Right.
We're gonna have to leave it there. We got a special guest waiting in the wings, but thank you so much for coming through. And you gave us what's good in the hood just when you came on smiling. So we
Man.
appreciate you very, very much. You've brightened the day, lightened the day. And let me tell you something. You did real good without your notes.
That part.
If you hadn't have said that you didn't bring them, I would have never known. We
Yeah.
appreciate you very much, and we can't wait to talk to you again next week and see what's going on. Thank you for these updates about One Omaha as well, too, because
Yeah.
it's an organization we've been wondering about this whole time. So we're glad I feel better about it just because you are there, number one, and now we can actually really learn what's going on and how it's helping the community. So appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Y'all have a wonderfully blessed morning.
Thank
do
you
the
very much,
same.
you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Have a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with Andrea Joy Pearson, who is waiting in the wings. And we're going to talk about some haps coming up here in a minute. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, Paul Be the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Be the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Yes,
Chat
yes.
timers is going off today, man. Really appreciate
Yeah, man.
you for doing that, coming on and saying all these things, bringing all these issues up, doing all the talking. Amy H. Dot in the chat. I really appreciate that. Marianne Williams is in there saying thanks. Say what? Oh, my bad. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, well, we're back, and you didn't notice nothing. Hey, we got a special guest in the wings. One of my favorite people in Omaha right now, Miss Andrea Joy Pearson, is joining us.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm
Good
loving to
morning,
hear.
good morning, good morning.
Okay, come
Hey.
through, Locks.
Period. Thank you. Locked and
Hey.
loaded, as I like to say.
Okay,
Stay ready, y'all.
okay. How you doing, Miss Lady?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's nice and bright and sunny. I literally just flew back into town yesterday. It is hot up here, but I'm very glad to be back. I found myself, I think for one of the first times, almost missing Omaha while I was out of town. It was kind of interesting. I know. It was kind of interesting. I was just like, there's actually a lot of stuff that's always going on. And it's really funny because when I first moved here, people would tell me how boring it was. A lot. And I'm surprised now that it feels like a space that is really, for me, it has been, and I think for a lot of people, you can really build community here. And then you have stuff to do because you do stuff with your community. And people are like trying to be out and about in creating real positive change in real time.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like you found your tribe.
You know, I actively work to find tribe. You know.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna get into so I definitely want to ask you about a trip that you just took. But before we do that, you already kind of telling us how you feeling, what's going on in your world, how you missed Omaha. I'm glad we got that on I'm glad we got that recorded because
it's the spring fever, Paul. You always talk about it.
You always fall in love with you fall in love, everywhere you at, you fall in love with it during spring. Yeah. That's my motto.
Yeah.
Well, you know, can I pipe in that I think it's possible to fall in love with everywhere that you're at, regardless of where it's at.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially if you put the love in it.
I mean, if you can, you know.
If you can, and you can.
If it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on through today again. If those of you don't know who this is, Andrea Joy Pearson, one of my favorite people in Omaha. You have your own consultant business going on right now. You're doing some work. Tell me about your work right now, just so people remind people what's up.
Yeah, so I have a consulting firm. It's called Joy Brings Light. It's a multidisciplinary diversity, equity, inclusion firm. And we say it is founded in action and fueled by joy. I'm very much considering how do we do community differently? How do we do it in a way where as many people as possible feel seen, heard, valued, respected? And not just the DEI where we're having like trainings on like what is bias, what is racism, right? But more so, how are we actually putting in effective strategies into whatever spaces that we want to see real change? So that shows up a lot of different ways. And so the easy way to describe it is just multidisciplinary. It shows up sometimes through speaking and facilitation. Sometimes it is training that does exist there. Also, it's creative production and direction. So it's like, how are you trying to change how the viewpoint is of what it is that you're going after? How do we have a higher level of awareness about what it is that we're saying we are, and how when that's showing up in spaces? It comes to things of me hosting and speaking. It comes to me programming and creating events and curating. And it comes to me working with strategy a lot of times in the background with leaders here and around the city about how can you be an effective leader, and how can you feel successful in what it is that you're doing, and how can you actually start moving the needle in real ways.
That's what's up.
Impact.
Love it. Yeah. So I gotta just jump right in. I know that we're gonna be talking about Joy Fest coming up here in a minute, but because that's kind of the one of the big events that's happening. Second annual too, right? This is the second. Only the second one. Seems like we've been doing Joy Fest for years already, but
there was one before, so technically, in some ways, this is the third year. But it really took on the body that it will be kind of moving forward of the bigger festival style last year. So there was 1 year that was like the startup year, and then it kind of had its big year, and then now we're continuing on in that tradition.
Got it. So we will be talking about this festival coming up. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is a different.
I was like,
come on.
Wrong flyer up. This is what we need. Juneteenth Joy.
There you go. There you go.
Some color.
Bring in the Black futurism vibes. That's right.
Afrofuturism. We love it. So we will be talking about that coming up. But first, I got to ask you about a trip you just took, because I have a feeling that you took a trip out to New York recently with some folks.
Oh, I did.
And you met some very, very important folks.
Yeah. So at first I was like, because I've taken trips since then. So I was like, But in that, yes, I was recently in New York. I'm very excited about it. I got invited out to the 98th birthday celebration for Malcolm X in Harlem. And in that, I got to really be around a lot of fantastic leaders right now. Some might say civil rights leaders right now. I would say human rights leaders right now, because it's about how do we all do this together, who are actively working in their spaces. I got to meet Ilyasa Shabazz, Malcolm X's daughter, and I got to find out that she's an excellent producer, and everyone was in the right spaces at the right time. So as someone who's a producer, it was a beautiful thing to watch in that. But hearing so many galvanizing words talking about what does the movement look like today? How do we get involved in the movement today, right? And the biggest thing that I would say for myself and for anybody who's under the sound of my voice right now is just start whatever spaces that you find that you enjoy. That's where you can be an activist. Activism doesn't look one particular way. It can be a multitude of things. And so in that space, there was people getting awards, and it was nice to see there was an author, there was Joanna LaFleur, EGK was there. I was able to accompany her to this event. She was honored with an award of a Vanguard Award for her work getting Malcolm X into the Nebraska Hall of Fame. And I'm very excited about that because I was also able to testify in that space in my work when trying to say, how do we amplify Malcolm X's life, what Malcolm X was about, in that connection to us as Omahans here in the space where he was born. And that was really exciting. It was funny. I went backstage and we got there really late because I had a few events, and we might talk about that, but I'm in a lot of events, and we had to run off the plane, and we just ran in and we went backstage, and we were trying to just kind of like quietly, because it had just started, put our stuff underneath the table. And I was just like, that kind of looks like Spike Lee. And I was like, anyway. And so I kept going. Absolutely was Spike Lee. He was there to
who else on earth looked like Spike Lee? You knew that.
I don't know. I kind of kept going. And in this, he was there talking about his background in history with the movie Malcolm X. If you don't know, he directed it. It's fantastic. And he talked about the things of how it ended up being as long as it did, and the importance of really like diving in and telling that story, and how Denzel Washington really embodied the character to, at some points, like they were getting like shivers in the space, right? Like watching him take on things that was from footage to really displaying it in real life. He talked about how tumultuous it was to actually get the budget to be able to grow out a film that was that long and as big and robust. And that's a part that I'm sure a lot of people don't know about, that he went around to a bunch of different prominent Black leaders, in performers and all kinds of things in this time. And they donated money
they made it happen.
This film, right? And it's one of those things as a reminder that if we want to win, we have to be willing to support us. Right. Sometimes that does mean teamwork makes the dream work, going above and beyond. And so that's when I say, just start somewhere. Start somewhere. Look around your city, your town, see what's going on, see who you can support, see who you can patronize, right? It's in the little things. Yes, it's in you showing up to things, picketing. That's one thing too. It shows up with you boycotting stuff. That shows up too. But it's also you just supporting your fellow man, and particularly right now, your fellow Black man.
And I got to tell you, Omaha, Nebraska has a very specific place in history and place in time. With this being the birthplace of Malcolm X, Malcolm X and the Memorial Foundation being in town, it's always a great place to start. It's definitely where we got our starts, where me and Buddi even met and got rolling. I mean, if you want to start somewhere, you can start there. We're definitely planning on having a Joanna LaFleur on to talk about that trip and the connection being made between the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation and the family, which was something that was kind of was a little shaky before, and I'm glad to hear that it's solidifying up. But I'm so anxious to talk to her that I just had to go ahead and ask you, since you had a company in the situation. Well,
absolutely. We are excited about the new possibilities, right? Like now is the time for a turn up, and like you heard me saying earlier, you can love any space, no matter really what the circumstances may be, if you choose to amplify the love that is there, right? And in that, it's an exciting time right now, because you said before, relationship was maybe not as on course as maybe we would like. And now stuff like this is happening. There's a movement that's happening, and we get to determine how will that momentum really flourish and grow. And also, I will give a quick plug. So I produced a short film, a dance poetry short film, featuring Jewel Rogers, who will also be at Joy Fest, and a young Black dancer named Charles, who was dancing on the birth site memorial grounds here at the Malcolm X Center. That was a reimagination of Malcolm X's mother speaking to him, speaking life into him in a way that we can only only hope could have possibly happened. It's called Oh Malcolm, You Hopeful Song. You can find it on Instagram. You can find it on YouTube. And you can find it right on Ilyasa Shabaz's page. Actually, that's how I was able to get a little bit more connected in that space is my short film. It's about 4 minutes, 3.5, 4 minutes long. It came to her awareness, and it's been there since that. So I really want to give a huge shout out to Joanna for making that happen and then letting me accompany in that way, and to feel like, actively being a part of Black history in real time, and a part of activism, right? Wow. It's very exciting.
I love it, man. So many gems. That's what I'm saying. See this person right here. Somebody said it earlier. Brother Valadera said, "You woke my spirit up." Much love.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey, Von Chapman has got a question in the chat. He says, "Are you connected to any of Omaha's community associations? You would be great in bridging gaps that appear to exist in the community. You associated with any community organizations?"
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm connected to a few different organizations, but I don't know which ones would count as community organizations. What I would say is my email is joybringslight@gmail.com. If you have any good leads, any good segues, please reach out to me. I really am here in Omaha because I want to see us prosper. So I want to get in more connection with more companies. That was one of the big reasons of me choosing to start my own firm here and to stay in Omaha, is because I believe in Omaha. And one of my big things is relationship management, right? How do we do repair of relationships and a growth of community and communication to be able to not just repair, but uphold those so that they're really sustainable?
Love it. Let's jump into the Joy Fest. Juneteenth Joy Fest is going down Saturday, June 17th, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. on 24th and Ohio Street in Omaha. And man, poetry. There's all kinds of stuff. Music. This is a free event. Looks like this is gonna be a beautiful thing. And like you said, it's kind of the third, but officially like the second annual. And I love the youthful energy that is brought to this time frame. This will be around. When is this? This is June 17th. So this is around Juneteenth.
So next Saturday,
Next Saturday.
10 days.
10 days. Yeah. Tell us about this event. Tell us.
Yeah. So as you see, it's 12 to 10. So it is a festival galore. So in that we have music, you heard poetry. There's going to be live art happening in the space. There's going to be local vendors there selling goods. There's going to be local food sellers that are there in the space. There's going to be activities for kids. There's going to be a wellness space. And then we have a full music showcase at 5 p.m. that's going to be starting with people who are local artists and people who have a national platform. So this is something that's completely free. And in a lot of other spaces and in a lot of other cities, you would absolutely be purchasing this ticket. And so in that regard, take advantage of it. You can come out with your friends. You can come out with your mom. You can come out with your significant other. You can come out with your aunties that you haven't seen in a while. Reconnect with those cousins and go and have a good time. I know how it works in the summertime, right? This is a time for you to be with friends and family and to vibe, because Juneteenth is our holiday. This is about our freedom. This is about our expression. And this is about how we are living right now. How can we come out, have a really good time, and to also support the people around us who are trying to be about that life and want to have fun. It's not all activism. You heard me say earlier, all activism is not something aggressive and something that feels harsh and something that feels hard on the body. Sometimes it can be like this, where you're coming and you're singing and you're dancing and you're sipping on an icy while you enjoy a cool Saturday afternoon, while also embracing and celebrating your Blackness.
Yeah,
there you go.
Being Black and having joy is a revolutionary act by itself. So
man, I hate to see the smile. But as we actually spoke to Jade on Monday, again, the founder of House of Afroscapes and Curls, and she talked about the importance of play. So
that's right. That's right. And they have the steampunk tea party coming up on the 10th. And that's what I mean by there is stuff going on here in this town. Get out, get active, and connect. We want to connect with you, right? You are in
Yeah.
a space where people want to connect with you. And one of the things, like you said, this is really from the mind of Alajia, who is one of the baddest, the boldest, and the best curators that we have in town. People should come out just to support the rise that this woman is on,
Yeah.
number one. And in that, there are a lot of people around her who are supporting this vision and this mission. You said like the youthful spirit. There are people of all ages behind the scenes helping make this happen. And it's even showing up not just in the committees and such behind the scenes, but you're going to see it in the space of who's there performing, who is there giving their gifts and their talents. It's going to be all different ages. And let me tell you just about a couple of things that are going to be going on in this space, so you don't think I'm just saying it to say it. So in this, we have Reggie LaFleur is going to be coming to do a live 16-foot mural in the space. Yeah.
Man,
You heard me
national
say we
artist.
have Rex Life Raj, we have Seneca, we have Kylan, we have Light Pole, we have some poetry that's going to be there from live artists. We have Joel Rogers, we have Developing Crisp that's going to be there. AP Legacy is going to be doing a youth performance. There's going to be an open space and a stage where people are going to be able to see people also doing more live art. There'll also be DJs in the space from 12 to 5, so you can just come and dance and just vibe. Haven Express is one of the food artists. They're going to be in the space. So these are the people around you. Help them help their dreams come true and help your dreams come true at the same time, because you come out to Joy Fest and you might see that you're living inside of a dream.
Yeah, there you go, man. Rex Life Raj is definitely a dope national artist. It's nice that he's coming to the city for a free event. That's not a small thing. Like Rex Life Raj is a very big artist. So yeah, big shout out, shout out to man. And again, I just want to give Lala like yes, thank you, perfect timing, man. I want to give Lala her flowers, man. Like very talented artist, very talented sister. I hung out with her and her family. Very talented family. Like her brother Osiris is a very dope skateboarder, very dope artist. You might know him as Ceriso, aka Death God. Also
dope
big
MC too.
Yeah, man, dope MC. Also shout out to her sister Egypt, who's also a very successful, well-known artist in the area. Even her cousin Cam, my homie Cam McClarty, who's a very successful photographer out in California right now. Man, yeah, big shout out to the whole fam bam, man. I'm loving to see Lala continue to keep the energy going, man. So yeah, it's definitely part of the camp.
And beautiful. I gotta tell you, man. I think Lala is one of the most beautiful women in Omaha, Nebraska. She always knocks me to the floor every time I see her, and not just beautiful physically, but her style, her spirit. One of my favorite artists and favorite people in Omaha for sure, man. It definitely support what she's got going on. Tony Johnson, real quick, is asking, will there be voter registration at the Joy Fest?
I'm not sure at this point in time if that will be something that's available. What I would tell you is if you'll email me, I'm happy to pass it along to the committee.
Yeah, might be a good thing to add there for sure. Alajia's in the chat right now.
Hey, Lala, you know what it is. Lala.
Hey, now I'm embarrassed. Good to see you, Lala.
Paul's blushing.
You can tell her she's a fashion queen. I heard that. I heard before the spirit. You said the style. Okay, you are a fashion queen.
Style knocks me out, and she always is walking around just clowning everybody with it. It's beautiful.
But that's curation. That's curation, and it's showing up in one particular way, right? So imagine that if we get to jump inside of the mind of a fashionista externally and put it out in a landscape. There's going to be so many things for people to delve in, to dive in, to do. This is really one that you don't want to miss out, because not only does it show up in her clothes, it shows up at her events.
Yeah, and I just want to give a shout out to the generation. Like when I came back from college in 2016, came back to Omaha. And I was kind of chilling with Lala and her cousin, and we were all hanging out. Dewan, we would see Dewan at events. A lot of the young people that are doing things, that have ran for mayor, that are running, on the school board. I'm talking 30 below, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even 26, 27 below. Real young people in the community doing real things. And Lala, Dewan, we're all, myself, I will put, like, we were all kind of figuring it out, and to see things being figured out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And to see
Idle
that come to
Vital.
fruition. Right. Idle Vital. Yeah. Again, shout out to Imani, her brother Marcus, her man, like the whole family. Like, shout out to all the young people in the community doing things. Let's make sure we support these young people because it's the future.
Yep.
And I got to give a big shout out to Fabric Lab.
Yes.
Directed by Manny, who is also helping with
there
Joy Fest, helping say, like, what does it look like for us to move and shape this community?
Yeah.
Right. So I got to give. I'm sitting inside a Fabric Lab right now. So I have to give a huge shout out because they really are doing fantastic work to show up in this moment.
Yeah,
Manny About Town.
Manny About Town is the dude for sure.
Yeah. Marcy Yates Culture House right down the block. Like, again, young people doing things. Big shout out.
Big shout out. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, Juneteenth Joy Fest is happening. It's happening on the 17th.
Yes.
June 17th from 12 to 10. So we're gonna be there all day.
So and please RSVP. Please RSVP. Will you come the day of, and will we accept you and love on you? Absolutely. And please RSVP to get your ticket just to speed up the process ahead of time. So you can find out more information at JuneteenthJoyFest.com. We are also on Instagram under Juneteenth Joy Fest. Let me actually make sure I'm giving the right Instagram handle so that y'all can go check it out. And you can follow our journey. Right. You might even see a picture from this moment right now as we are trying to showcase what is our journey along the way as we build. Right. Not just the cake. How do you make the cake? And the idea behind that is for you to feel like you're a part of the growth and the progression that we go on. And also for you to see that if we can do this, you can do this, too.
That's what's up. Appreciate you coming by. We'll definitely have to have you back on a regular basis.
Yes,
you are the ultimate spokesperson for so many wonderful things going on here. You make us excited about. You make me excited about being in Omaha for real. So
plus we just need the light you bring.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I wanted to reiterate, it is Juneteenth Joy Fest on Instagram. Check us out. See about what's going on, what's happening behind the scenes, and RSVP for June 17th. And you're right, I do need to come on regularly. I have about 5 other events happening this month. But in this right now, my main thing that I really want to shout out, because I really want the community to come out for this, and that's Juneteenth Joy Fest. If you want to follow me and some of the things that I'm into, you can follow me at joybringslight.com. You can follow me on Instagram at joybringslight. I really do love connecting. I really am here for the people of this space, and I want you to be great. If no one else has told you today, you are so fly and you deserve to enjoy your life to the fullest.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, it's really, really good to see you. We'll talk soon. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate you coming through.
If
you I'm Andrea Joy. Y'all have a good day.
All right.
Please drop your email in the chat if you can. Okay, there she goes.
trying to fit in.
Well, Kimara's asking her email again, so I want to make sure the people can connect.
We're going to drop it to her. But don't forget, man, y'all, go to JuneteenthJoyFest.com. They're saying register today. Go ahead and get your free ticket so they can anticipate how many people's coming through for sure. And you make sure that happens. She's putting it in the chat right now, too. So
there you go.
Throw that in the chat for everybody who needs that. Once again, Andrea Joy Pearson, man, that's what's up.
Man,
appreciate that, and I gotta show Alajia one more time because look at the style. Just look at the beauty. Look at the spirit. I mean, picture worth 1,000 words. This is one of those ones that you already know what's happening. You know what's happening.
She's a queen to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going down. Hey, it's also about time for the haps. We only got a few minutes left in the show, so I kind of think we probably ought to jump into a little bit of haps. If y'all don't mind, if I can find the theme song here. Here we go. How about this?
What's happening?
Hey.
What's happening?
It's going down. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the haps. You already saw one of the haps. Go for fence in the background. Say what?
Talking about the victory. Just keep going. Stay out the chat, Paul.
All right. Yes, time for the haps. Talk about a few things that's going on for sure. And we already talked about the Joy Fest coming up. And Andrea Joy Pearson said, and I also have free sound bath on June 12th.
Okay.
She's still over here talking about it. Oh, that's what's up. Matter of fact, I think I do have a flyer about that or somewhere around here too. Let's see if we can find that real quick. Nope, not gonna find it quick. So we'll come back to it. But yeah, appreciate you coming through. Don't forget about that sound bath thing that she's got going on too, for sure. She said 5:30. Is it going to be here?
Where?
Let me just bring you back on because I'm just
Where is it? Where is this?
Hey, oh my gosh, thank you for letting me come back on because I completely forgot to say this because it is before Joy Fest actually comes on June 12th. I've been doing Mindful Mondays in partnership with Millwork Commons. And this one we pushed into June to be able to honor Memorial Day that was started by Black soldiers. If you do not know, in this, we're going to be having it at 5:30 to 6:30 at Millwork Commons. It's completely free. We are asking that you RSVP. You can do that at joybringslight.com. But again, even if you don't RSVP, nobody's tripping over here, okay? We want you to live your best life. Come on through. In this, people have been saying it's just been a life-changing experience. It's been something just very beautiful and something really grounding for them to engage in. This one is going to be a more experimental sound bath. I don't know if y'all heard my little undulation a little bit earlier, but it'll be along some of those lines, some of it where it just feels very grounding, very ancestral, and very like hooked in nature. But in it, if you've never been to a sound bath, you've got to give it a go. And if you've never been to a sound bath, you certainly need to do it with Andrea Joy, because I create sound baths for the culture. It's sound baths for the people to be able to see themselves in an even clearer way. Sound baths are normally about $30 a person, and this one is completely free, and we are offering it for the community as a gift for you because we care about you. Last month was Mental Health Awareness Month, and if you don't know, over 94% of people at some point will have a mental health crisis. You may be in that moment, or someone around you may be in that moment, so try to give people grace and space. Love on yourself and do your best to love on your community. And if you want to do that in community, come out to the sound bath on June 12th at 5:30 p.m. at Millwork Commons.
All right, we're going to have to cut you off there. Brooke is asking, is it inside or outside?
It's inside. It's been inside. Yeah. If it's super cool, maybe we'll do it outside, but it's inside though. Inside of the dock area. Okay. Thank you for letting me come back.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace.
It is 9:01 right now, so we are a little past time. We apologize for that. We definitely need to mention, just because we are partners over here with the OEAAs, and they are hosting they are part of this Omaha Summer Arts Festival that we need to be presenting as well. As a matter of fact, I think Tony Johnson in the chat said he's going to be at this Omaha Summer Arts Festival. And if you wanted to come and sign a petition that repeals the bill that we were talking about as far as private school funding and stuff is concerned, you can go and sign with him over there. But yes, Omaha Summer Arts Festival, lots going on here. Exarban Village, June 9th through 11th. Lots going on this weekend coming up for sure. So there's don't forget June 17th. In the next couple of weeks, there's going to be so many things popping. It's crazy. Also, don't forget In Vogue is in town on June the 18th, celebration of fatherhood, 6th annual Father's Day Festival. From this is William King, 95.7 The Boss, DJ Reggie C on the ones and twos. In Vogue, Melissa Morgan, hosted by Joshua L. Stupo. It's going to be a dope one too. Go to ticketomaha.com, get your tickets for that one at the Orpheum for sure. And then, of course, don't forget about what's going on at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation for Juneteenth. June 17th, Saturday, there's going to be outdoor celebrations and things going on there. Arts and crafts, carnival games, family fun, free food. This is for all ages. And you can bring the kids out for this and have a good time, and then take the kids home a little later on that night, get your tickets, come back and check out the Omaha Freedom Festival with Music Soul Child, Life Jennings, Angeline, and Timeless. It's going down there as well. You can check out tickets at omahafreedomfestival.com. So many things to go to, man. I'm going to have to get tickets for all of it and kind of hop around a little bit. It looks like that's what's happening for me. So that's what's up, and there's more to come. Of course, we'll put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Everything that you have for HAPS is that you wanted to let us know about. Please put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well, and we'll definitely circulate that information around as much as we can get it. We are running very late right today, so really appreciate you hanging with us past the agreed upon 9 o'clock hour. And we'll come back Friday for another session with Brother Senators Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney. It's going to be very, very, very interesting what's going on there. So Tony Johnson said, couldn't get in the Native Omaha Day website down again. Okay, we'll
Had to look into that.
Yeah, they gotta look into it. Appreciate the news there. But let's go ahead and get out of here, buddy. You got some words for the people?
Yeah, going along with Pops, he's in the chat, says thanks for another great Women's Wednesday. Thank you to all the chat chimers for making it a great one. Of course, big shout out to the ladies, the women, for speaking with Sister Kimara Snipes, put some respect on her name, and also Sister Andrea Joy Pearson for speaking with us, bringing us some light, bringing us some life. So yeah, we definitely appreciate those two dynamic sisters for speaking with us, and of course, big shout out to you, Paul B, for being my partner in crime, dynamic duo, helping me do the thing, and even making it through the show, giving all the bodily functions that's going on. So again, still recovering from the weekend, but I appreciate you, bro, as always. And yeah, man, catch the same time, same place. Just about 5 episodes left in the season. So yeah, I'll be there soon, y'all.
That's what's up, man. Stay tuned for the Chad Chambers kickback. It's gonna be in the Haps coming up. Once we lock that date down, Amy H. I'm gonna give you a call. We're gonna talk about it. She's telling us to have a great day, y'all. Appreciate that. Brother Valadares, who's been very active today, said much love and gives us a goodbye. Kimara Snipes says, are we hanging today? Who are you talking to?
Amy.
Talking to somebody. Okay, that's what's up. Brooke said, great show. Appreciate you, Brooke. Thank you very much for that. We will continue to do what we do and be back here on Friday to talk to Brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne. And man, we're counting down the last few episodes of season 5, wrapping it up. And then it'll be time for the break, time for the Chat Chimers kickback, and time to gear up for season 6. Thanks to you, we can continue to do this. We really appreciate everybody that has joined the channel and becoming reoccurring members, $10, $25, $50 members. It really helps us to continue this and grow it and do what we need to do in order to make it happen. There's other organizations that we get grant money from, and that also helps to do what we're doing here, and we want to give a shout out to them, even though they never asked for any recognition. But just want to let you guys know that's how we keep this thing funded and keep this thing going, and we're going to continue to do that. And receive grant money from organizations that we respect and that do not want to interfere with our message and tell us what to say, then we'll do business. If they think that what we're doing is a very important thing for our community, like we think it is, then we can vibe. And that's how we work. So we really appreciate that very much. And we really appreciate you very much as well. So thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thank you for our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Thank you for you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thanks. Please tell a friend, and we'll get as many other people in that you think that might be good for coming in for this conversation, so we can expand this. And it'd be great if we do that. So thank you very, very much. We really appreciate that for sure. So thank you, everybody who has joined us. And once again, just take care of yourselves. Remember, we started off this day talking about making sure that our health is good. Let's remind each other and help each other. It's going to be hot out there today. So check on all loved ones, older ones, that make sure everybody's air conditioning is working and so on and so forth. And everybody's set. And let's look out for each other and, try to stick around here a little while longer. So also, want to give a shout out to you, buddy, too, man. We always, I've been talking about you a lot lately to a lot of folks. Like, just always perpetually impressed by the work that you do and the fact that you started out so young doing it. When I met you, was only like 23 or something when I met you, right? 22, somewhere around something like that.
Yeah, 22.
Yeah. So you always been that cat that's had that old soul and came in and knew what was important and what you had to do and was a very serious man about it. So I appreciate you having the wisdom of people that are much older than you. And yeah, man. That's a huge compliment coming from an old dude like me now that I'm old.
OG. Thank you.
Put you on the old heads track for sure.
Hey, sucker MCs.
Sucker MCs. It's going down. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a good one.
Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green.